I'm with Anthony Harper with Intermountain Christian News, and we're at the Values Voter Summit here in Washington, D.C. There's a lot of topics being discussed. One of the things that's happening right now is the Pastor Saeed over in Iran, and there's definitely a lot of difficulty and controversy with that. Can you tell us a little about what's going on right now?
Oh, well, of course, we've heard that in light of Major Garrett, CBS News reporter, questioning the sincerity of President Obama, that there wasn't any true desire to have them released. And we see the behavior of this administration of not respecting our Christian beliefs, our values. On one side saying that there's religious freedom, they're defending religious freedom, but they're really not. We talk about Kim Davis and so many others, Pastor Saeed languishing in the jail, being tortured there. I'm from the same church, Calvary Chapel in Boise, Idaho, and I was with him privately before he left for Iran, the Going Away party event. His testimony is in our newspaper. We've known each other for a while, and it's very troublesome that our nation didn't demand him and others release.
And what was he arrested for?
Well, he was previously had been arrested, I guess, in jail already for house churches. Mm-hmm. And Iran doesn't think very highly of pastors that have churches. They really want to control everything. And there is no religious freedom in Iran. So it's very, very upsetting. Him and his family are going through so much pain. And they were misled by President Obama in Boise, Idaho, that when President Obama was there in Boise, Idaho to meet with them, he was misleading and gave them false hopes. And made promises that there'd be, that the children would be able to have their father back soon.
And how long has it been?
About 3 years. And there's a special rally coming up Saturday, Saturday, September 26th in Boise and around the nation.
And how do people find out about the rally?
Well, they just go to on this search on the internet for Save Saeed. So
Save Saeed.
Yes.
And so you're in town now. What are you doing as far as who are you speaking to? What's happening?
I'm at the White House. Sometimes part of the White House press pool was at President Obama's trip in Israel a couple years ago, and I'm there to ask questions regarding our Christian concerns. And this administration is afraid to let me ask these questions.
So have you tried to meet with President Obama? Have you asked to meet with him?
I've tried to meet with him. I've tried to meet with his press secretary, and they are refusing at this point. So there is too much fear. There's definitely no transparency, but a lot of a fear to deal with the truth.
Well, I mean, in this kind of situation, you watch these kinds of things happen. You talk about religious liberty, and I think that we saw what happened with Kim Davis, and a lot of people might look at that and say, well, she didn't have the right to what she was doing, but she was thrown in jail, for God's sakes. She was thrown in jail for what she believed in. Now, they didn't fire her. No. She was thrown in jail.
She was just defending the law.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And many people have said that she should have just stepped down because she's avoiding her responsibility, but they really don't realize that the most important issue is she should be celebrated for defending the law. So that other argument, her responsibility issue is irrelevant, it's inaccurate. Their argument has no foundation. She was just doing the right thing and defending Kentucky law.
That's just unbelievable.
The Supreme Court does not make law. They don't have that authority constitutionally to make the law. Neither does the president as well, right?
And the law already stood. There was a law in place. She was obeying the law, doing her duty, and then, like you say, the Supreme Court changed the law.
Right, and even the Defense of Marriage Act is still the law of the land.
Exactly.
The Supreme Court cannot change that law. And until Congress makes the change, then that's the way it is, right?
Well, as we know, the Supreme Court, judicial activism, we saw that with abortion. And, look at how many years ago and over 60 million people have been killed by abortion. And I think we're talking about governments out of control. And, what do people do? I mean, there's a lot of folks that are maybe just watching this. And what do people do with these governments out of control?
Well, they've got to have definitely some discipline issues, and not to be afraid to speak up for truth and get to the root of the issue. A lot of Christian leaders believe there is a correlation between terrorism and lack of repentance. I'm friends with the National Day of Prayer, National Day of Repentance leaders, and that's what they see, that correlation. Even President Lincoln saw, I believe, the correlation between terrorism and lack of repentance, and we need someone that would call for national repentance like President Lincoln did in 1863. So.
Now, Pastor Saeed is an American citizen, correct?
Correct. He's an American citizen. He should not be there.
Held in prison against his will.
Yes, abused so often, and there needs to be a letter of apology from the Iranian government for their abuse of him. And now is the time for them to, if they really are concerned, or if they really are trying to convince us that they're not an axis of evil, as has been portrayed before, then they should release him and other ones incarcerated unjustly there.
Yep.
So I hope that happens soon. His family is eager to wait the good news on that.
Yep.
But something needs to be done very soon, and encourage people to pray. And then, of course, if people want to know more about this, as you mentioned, they can see the Save Saeed website, just easily through the search engine for that. Our website, Intermountain Christian News, is imcnews.org, where you can, where you all can click on the White House picture for more details. So.
Okay, and that's imcnews.org?
Correct.
Okay, well, you heard that, and you can do more, and I'm talking about things that we should do and can do. We shouldn't just get frustrated and throw up our arms and say, well, what can we do about it? We can do something, and it's making phone calls, maybe writing letters, donating to companies who are doing things, organizations who are out there representing Pastor Saeed and so on. So we can do more, and we need to do more. Thank you for taking the time to speak with us. I appreciate it.
Welcome. Thank you very much.